What's good? It's time for another video today. This video is gonna be a little bit different though, because it's gonna be sponsored by, I'm just kidding, it's not sponsored. I don't have sponsors. I wish I had sponsors. If you are a sponsor and you're looking to sponsor a young black man who is a youth pastor and doesn't make a lot of money, then yeah, you're free to do so. Anyway, today I am going to be ranking the Disney princesses. So, I'm just going to be clear with you guys, okay? We're not going to be doing all this stuff like, oh, what about the people from, what about the girl from Atlantis? What about Padme? Aren't they technically Disney? No, I'm talking about official canon Disney princesses, okay? So, then with that also brings in this whole controversy that I have personally. Because I'll just start off, because technically, since she is an official Disney princess by Disney standards, I gotta include my homegirl Mulan. Okay, so I'm gonna put Mulan at first because anyone that knows me knows that she is that is the top Disney movie in the world. Okay, but personally, Mulan isn't really a Disney princess. You know, don't at me because I love the movie. Like I said, I put it at the top since they officially put it in the canon. But to me, I just think that they're really lazy and they don't want to write in an Asian princess, and so they're saying that she's a princess. But technically, she wasn't royalty. Not at the beginning of the movie, not at the end of the movie. Like, at least like with like Tiana and like a lot of these other ones, they were at least princesses by the end of the movie, or they were royalty by the end of the movie. She was never royalty. So I'm gonna put them at number 1, but just understand that I'm only putting Mulan at number 1 because I'm doing the official Disney princesses, okay? But I'm gonna be rating their movies, okay? So I'm not gonna be rating like Elsa and Anna against each other. No, like I'm rating the movie itself. So that's how I'm gonna do it. So don't look at me and say, oh yeah, they had a cool concept. I don't care about the concept, I care about the movie. So I'm gonna be rating all of the Disney movies, and I will be telling you guys which ones have the best ranking. Alright, y'all ready? Number 13 is easily Snow White. Let me tell you why I say Snow White is the worst. Because, first of all, can you think of one song from Snow White? If you can, cool. If you can't, then you're like most of the population. Nobody likes Snow White. When you look at that movie, you don't actually look at that movie. You completely skip over it because it's a boring movie. It is really dull. It was like one of the first Disney movies, if not the first Disney movie. And it was just, no, it was just boring. And like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, it wasn't really interesting. It didn't really catch my eye at all. Like, I can't remember anything from it. I actually had to even look up who the main villain was because that's really how it was, you know? I had to look it up, and you know, y'all can sit there and be mad at me, but like, honestly, it's a boring movie. I didn't even watch that movie all the way through. I fell asleep. So Snow White is at the bottom of this list. Next up, and that only beat it by a little bit, is Sleeping Beauty. And the only reason why Sleeping Beauty beat Snow White is actually because Maleficent is a really good villain, and because she actually ended up making her own like spin-off movie and all that because she was an interesting villain. That is the only reason though why she is like even above, why that movie is even above the other one. So don't you know, get mad at that placement. It could have been either one. It's just that Sleeping Beauty was a little bit more memorable than Snow White. Now here is where it's gonna get controversial to people. Personally, your boys think that next in place is Brave. Okay, now I don't want to hear all of this stuff about Merida. She was such a great woman. She did such great things. Merida. She fought for her own hand and all that type of mess. No, I don't care that she fought for her own hand. It was a boring movie, and one of the worst things about the movie was that it did not have any songs. Okay, so like, like, you know, with the other movies, like, even if you don't like the storyline, you can at least be like, oh, that song was catchy. You can't do that with Brave. So, like, Brave was just like this really it kind of felt like a really long and boring movie. There weren't many funny parts. There wasn't really much going on. It was just kind of this, like, little argument and battle that she had with her mom. And I didn't really like that, and I didn't think it was good. I thought that it could have been done a lot better and been a lot cooler, but it just wasn't going anywhere for me. I think it might have gone a little bit better for me if she would have used her bow and arrow a little bit more, and like she would have been fighting off like Vikings or something. I don't know, something like. But it was really boring. Like, there was no action, there was no music, there was no funniness, and those are kind of what makes Disney movies for me. So you know, that was kind of my thing, is that I was like, ugh, this is kind of not good. At 11 is Pocahontas. Now, this is another one that could have easily been switched out with Brave. The only thing that made Pocahontas a little bit better is that Pocahontas had some songs in it, and some of the songs were actually fairly decent. Also, they had a really good comic relief with the raccoon, and he was a really funny character, and that was kind of what made that a little bit more redeemable for me. But Pocahontas is another movie that's really boring and really slow. Not to mention, y'all, Pocahontas was based kind of off of a real woman, like a real person that existed in history, and just the fact that the whole story was like way off of what actually happened is another reason why I kind of put that in there. Because when you do your own story, you can do whatever you want. When you're doing like a real story and you just sit there and say, you know what, I know that didn't like historically happen, but I'm gonna just have that happen anyway. No, like, don't do that. Then just make another like Powhatan princess or something, but don't make it her, okay? Because that's how you kind of mess things up. Next up is Cinderella, okay? Cinderella is one of those movies that, like, it is reused so much in our culture, and so many people try to remake Cinderella. But the thing is, I just think that Cinderella should just be left alone, because I don't think it's really that great of a movie in the first place. And, you know, people are gonna get mad at that, but I mean, really, Cinderella isn't that great of a movie. It has a lot of good songs, and like it gets stolen from a lot, but you know, that's definitely, by the time that Walt Disney did Cinderella, it had been done by so many other people that it wasn't any bit of an original thought. But it's still better than the others because it's memorable and because it actually sticks, and people still, you know, riff off of Cinderella all the time, and that's kind of due to what Walt Disney did with it. I know it's not completely because of that, but I think Walt Disney definitely helped. Next one up is Frozen. Now, here's the reason why I don't like Frozen. Frozen was kind of like, they built it up to be such a big deal, and so many people were like, oh my gosh, it's the greatest movie ever. And I'm so glad that I watched Frozen before the hype, because a lot of the hype made it worse. I mean, it was an alright movie. It was fairly good the first time. That's why I didn't put it like at the bottom or anything like that, because it was fairly good the first time. But I do not think it was worth as much as people made it seem like it was. So Frozen, I thought it had some good songs, and it had some really catchy songs, but I still think the storyline didn't really go much of anywhere, and there wasn't really much of an actual adventure going on. And I'm a really big person for adventure. Next in there is Princess and the Frog. Now, let me tell you about Princess and the Frog, okay? Now, when they were like, we're gonna do the first black Disney princess, okay? Like, I was excited about that. I was like, oh, that's cool that they're doing that. And I liked the idea that they were going with. But then it kind of gets to the movie, and like, the movie is, I don't know how to explain it. It's very lackluster. It's not bad, but like, it could have been so much better. And I didn't like the prince. I didn't like him in the beginning, and I didn't like him at the end. Like, what he's supposed to be is he's supposed to be that redeemable character that gets better at the end. But he wasn't redeemable. Like, at the end, he kind of is the same guy. He just ended up, wow, now he's a human now. Oh my gosh. But he was still a terrible person, and I didn't like that. And that was kind of one of the main, like, things that turned me off of it. I really enjoyed the villain in that. He was very evil. Like I could definitely believe that he was like, you know, evil. I mean, like, he legitimately was getting dragged to hell at the end of the movie. Like what in the actual world was happening? And like, that was a really scary ending. But he was definitely a terrifying villain, and I thought that was really good. I thought some of the songs were really good. Thought some of the voice work was really good, but the characters were not really that good. I didn't really like Tiana as a person. Like, her kind of character was kind of very boring too. Like, it felt very 2D. Like, she was just like, I cook, I clean, I'm a woman. I just kind of felt like it could have been so many other places. At number 7 is Moana. Now, the reason why I didn't put Moana higher is because even though Moana has some good songs, the storyline did not go anywhere. And y'all can get mad at me, y'all can say whatever you want, but really, Moana's storyline didn't go anywhere. Like, who was the villain? Was it Te Fiti? No, it wasn't Te Fiti, because you figure out that Te Fiti was just a regular person that just wanted their heart back. Okay, so who's the evil person? Was it Moana? No, it wasn't Moana. Was it Rock's character that I'm forgetting his name all of a sudden for some reason? No, but like, and I didn't like that. I didn't like that there was no evil person in it. Like, there needs to be somebody who's the obvious villain in it, and there was no obvious villain in it. But like I said, the songs are really good, and the songs you can listen to about any time, and it's all right. I think there were like 1 or 2 songs in there that I was like, I didn't like Shiny, and I think there was another one that I didn't like. But overall, like, it was a decent movie. It was just that it didn't go anywhere. But I liked the animation. I liked everything else. I just felt like it could have done more. Next up is Beauty and the Beast. Now, the reason why I put Beauty and the Beast here is not because I really, really love Beauty and the Beast, but just because I like the concept of it. I liked the storyline, and I liked how kind of the characters actually changed. Like, they actually had these different dynamics to them. Like, you saw the Beast kind of changing back into being like a nicer person out of being a bitter person. I like the fact that Belle was like strong and individual and stuff like that, and that was a really cool concept for me. I really liked the animation style, like even though like it was still the drawing animation, and it seemed like they took a lot of time on that. And I can definitely tell that they took a lot of time on the character design. It was something I was really about. And the songs weren't that bad. The songs were alright. Gaston made me hate him, which is perfect, because that's what a villain should do. They should make you hate them, but also kind of enjoy them in a weird way. And I kind of like that about that. At number 5 is Little Mermaid.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
Now, Little Mermaid I put at 5 because Little Mermaid, you can't not put in the conversation for like top 5 Disney movies. But personally, just for me, I wasn't as big a fan of Little Mermaid as some other people were, but I did like some of the music. I thought it had a cool storyline, and I really enjoyed like some of like the comedic elements that they had in there with Sebastian, and then the fish. Why am I forgetting the fish's name too? Man, y'all need to get at me, because I don't know why I'm forgetting names all of a sudden. But either way, Little Mermaid was pretty good. Next up is Aladdin. Now, Aladdin is a weird movie because even though it had a Disney princess in it, that's like officially part of the canon, the movie was not about the Disney princess. And I think that's what made it better, was that like it was like actually about this different guy. It was about a guy that was kind of this cool, like sly individual that kind of did this cool, like he had this interesting thing to him. And then not to mention, we had the genie in it, and we know that Robin Williams killed it as Genie in that, and that is actually what made the movie. Like, I think that like if we didn't have that genie, I don't think it would have been as good. However, it was still good, like I said, but it was just definitely like, you can tell that Robin Williams carried that thing. And then of course we have A Whole New World, and we had the Princess. Like, you have all that, like you have like the good music up in there, and that was really good too. And so those are really big parts of like what I think makes a good Disney movie. It's a good storyline, good characters, and good music. And when you have all that together, I think it kind of makes your movie a lot better when it comes to like those Disney princess movies. So we are ending off with our last one before Mulan, because I already told you Mulan is at #1. So if you guys didn't know, the last one that's like the highest up there is Tangled. Now y'all are like, why in the world would Tangled be up there? See, the reason why Tangled was up there is because Tangled was doing everything. It had the comedic elements, it had the good storyline, it had they had cool characters that you could feel like you could like actually get attached to. And it was just, I don't know, it was just done really well. And I enjoyed the animation. It was fun all the way through. I would definitely continue rewatching that movie. So personally, if we're talking about real Disney princesses, I think Tangled was the best Disney princess movie. Now, since we're talking about what they officially call Disney princesses, I put Mulan at the top. But if we're talking about people who actually were princesses, then we put Tangled up in there, and that would be the top for me. So that is my ranking. You know, you can argue in the comments if you want. You know, don't at me. These are my rankings, okay? Y'all know I'm right. I don't care. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you say. Tangled is at the top of this list, right under Mulan, okay? Like y'all know it. Don't lie to me. Don't sit there and try to say, oh, well, Sleeping Beauty actually wasn't that bad. No, y'all hated Sleeping Beauty. Y'all don't like it. If y'all had that DVD and nothing else in your shelf, guess what? Y'all are going back to the store so y'all can get some new DVDs. Don't lie to me. So, hey, you guys, thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed my little rambling or whatever. Like I said, you know what? Hash it out in the comments. What do y'all think is y'all's favorite Disney movies or whatever? And hey, actually, even just throw in what are your favorite Disney movies that have nothing to do with Disney princesses. I just want to see what you guys come up with. But hey, that's my list. So like I said, we gonna fight about it and we can argue about it. But you know, don't get mad because I'm right. Y'all know I am. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys tune in tomorrow for whatever I talk about tomorrow. Peace.